Okay, we'll record now, so we can start when we feel like it. So this is the 11th of February, and for us and our family, it's a sad day, but it's a day we remember. My uncle and mom's brother-in-law passed away on this day back in 1967. But we're going to go back 4 years earlier. This is my mom, and of course I'm investigator, EEOC investigator Jeff McKinney. And we're going to be talking about events that happened almost 50 years ago, back in 1963. And so I'm going to start off by asking my mom, and this is Emma Davis, my mom, and of course I'm Jeff McKinney. Mom, how well do you remember the Martin Luther King March in 1963?
Well, I remember it quite well because at that time there were so many the people were trying to get the right. We had the right to vote, and there were so many people unable to vote, and so many things that people didn't have that were guaranteed by the Constitution. So we were very much involved.
Was that something people were thinking about back then? The rights, the rights that had been denied for so many years?
That's all we thought about. It was all in the papers, on TV, everywhere, the magazines. I like Time and like magazines.
Well, I remember 1963 pretty good, at least in my mind. That was, today's a historic day, but I remember back in 1963, Pope John the 23rd died. I remember my younger sister Jill's first Holy Communion was back in 1963, and we had a lot of the family over. Remember she had that big tomato,
right,
and a lot of our relatives signed it. That was in '63. Of course, Mom's birthday and also my grandfather, her father's birthday were both on November 22nd, and
the president died was President John Kennedy.
so that's the day that, or rather, that's a year that I can remember very well. I think we went to Middletown for vacation that year. Was that the year that we
I'm
went?
sure we did because every year we would go. We had relatives in Chicago, and East Chicago, and we had friends in Niles, Michigan, so he would go west.
Well, we did that a lot. I remember in the late '50s and early '60s, we'd always go to Benton Harbor, Niles, East Chicago,
That's
and
right.
then Chicago.
Gary and then Chicago.
I think Todd was born that year also.
Yes.
So why did we attend the Martin Luther King March in Detroit?
Because we were very involved, and as I remember, it started at Matt and Jill. How old was Jill?
I was 9.
She was 7.
She'd have been 7.
Yeah. And she said to me, all these people, my thing with the signs and all, she says, Mom, well, who are we going to vote for? She thought we were campaigning, and I explained to her it wasn't about voting, it was about civil rights.
I remember telling people at work that all I remember was hot. I didn't know exactly who Martin Luther King was in '63, but I knew, of course, by 1968 who he was.
And another thing, I had this summer, I had this great big pocket book that was woven together like a straw, and I wouldn't leave it in the trunk of the car, and I had all my baby stuff in it. And it was so heavy, your dad had to know he had to carry it for a while for me because I got tired.
So Dad was with us too that
Oh
day.
yeah, it was all 5 of us.
I don't have specific memories of it. I just remember walking with a lot of people and being real hot.
Right.
So how was I know it was Doris Jordan was related to Martin Luther King. What was her relationship?
Well, her mother was senior Martin Luther King sister. She was the oldest, his oldest sister, oldest sibling. and he was next to her. And my friend George Gordon was the first grandchild in the King family. And she said they used to put her up, stand her up on the pulpit in church. Another thing, she was born in right outside of Atlanta, and they were most of her uncles were ministers. Most of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s brothers were ministers, and Prince Doris Gordon, who was Martin Luther King Jr.'s first cousin. Martin Luther King, whenever he'd come to town, they would call and he would run over, and he would Johnny would call and say, MLK is in town, and so and so and so. And then after he became very well known, he couldn't come out to the cousin's house. He would have to go to hotels so that he could be the bodyguards to so that they could be protected.
So, Mom, you saying you actually met Martin Luther King?
I didn't.
No?
I could have. Your dad did.
Dad did?
Yes.
Okay, so how do we know Doris Jordan? What was the connection between us and Doris Jordan?
Her husband, Johnny Jordan, worked with your dad at the post office.
I remember Johnny. This is the interview.
Right.
But I remember when we got to back in '77.
But I met all of Martin Luther King's brother and sister, but I never met him. I could have, but when Johnny would call and say, MLK is here, and your dad would run over there. But you, the young kids, who could run over there. And then when he became really famous and well known, I couldn't.
Right. Well, I understand that. So, yeah, as I said, again, back in the time of the March of '62, I had no idea even who he was or really what we were out there for.
Right. So, you didn't. But you had to be there with us.
I remember the March. Right? Okay, so I'm going to ask us a few questions for the ELC about you, Mom. So, Mom, you were born in Ecorse, Michigan. Tell us about Ecorse back in the 30s.
Well, back in 1925, when I was born there, it was the largest village in the United States. There was like 13,000 people there.
So it was more or less. I mean, even when I was growing up, I remember Ecorse. You knew you weren't in Detroit.
Right. It was very rural when I was born there. And I was born there because my dad worked at Ford factory.
Well, now I'm living in Dearborn. I can ride my bike to where Grandpa. One day back in July, I rode down to Detroit on my bike. This past in summer of '12. So in 1966, I don't remember where you all went, but you took us to stay with Grandpa and Grandma in Ecorse. Grandpa was really the first person to ever talk to me about, the racial situation back then. You remember we stayed a week there?
Yeah, well, I remember, they would babysit you all up quite often when we were going out of town for the weekend, and he would take you all to mass and all that. He would take you to church.
So why did Grandpa leave Alabama back in the 1950s?
Because there was no opportunity for him. He worked on the railroad. They worked on different parts of the railroad in different cities worked on the railroad. And anyway, he was working in Elmore County where my mother lived. And my mother's family were on their 40 acres of land that my mother's grandfather was awarded after the Civil War. They had a great big farm, and it was very pleasant there. This house was very pleasant. And they took me there. My mother took us there when I was 5 or 6. Because my dad was at that time a millwright at Ford. And they closed up the plant. And my grandmother's father had worked for the railroad for 49 years when he died. And he could get a pass, so he got pass, a free pass, and my mother took us home to Elmore County.
So you got to see the land there in
Yes.
Elmore County.
Right.
Does the land there still, is it still?
In our family, yes it is.
Okay, so it's in our family, so could any of us go down there and live?
Certainly, and build a house on our property. My mother's grandfather ended up with 9 children, and he added to our land. He still had it. And my mother is still governed by the youngest male Long was her grandmother's, but my grandmother's maiden name, Long. And Lawrence Long now is in charge of the place.
That's our cousin who lived here in Detroit, who's now back down there. So how far is our family farm from downtown Montgomery?
7 miles.
7 miles. So our family, 160 acres is very close to where Martin Luther King, and Rosa Parks.
Montgomery, that's right. That's right. And I've taken you all to the Capitol, Montgomery, and what fascinates me because I like pecans. You see pecan trees all over Atlanta. All over Montgomery.
So our family's pretty big. When we were out in California, I even ran into some lawns.
Right. It was a good thing we had taken you there and you knew the history and knew who you were, and we ran into some trouble.
Well, Mom, you were the third of 5 girls born to Grandpa and Grandma, and you were the first one born in Michigan. And so, our time here in Michigan, it's been since Grandpa came here in 1923. But we're Alabama people.
That's right.
Even though we're both native-born Michigan.
Right.
So it's still, as Mom said, our land, not only is it still there, of course the land is still there, but it's still within our family. And it's only 7 miles from downtown Montgomery.
It's north of Montgomery, not south.
Yeah. Right across.
And all this
There's a river. I forget if it's the Alabama River or the Montgomery River, but there's a river that separates Montgomery, the county that Montgomery's in, from Elmore County.
Right.
And Wetumpka is the county seat. And then our folks are in a place called Sandtown. They always talk about Sandtown. Mm-hmm. So that was 1967. The summer of 1967. That we went for the first time, that I went for the first time. But of course, Mom, being the firstborn here in Michigan, they would go down, from time to time. Mom was born just 2 years after our family moved to Michigan, and so the connection was a lot closer.
Very much so.
But our family is still in very close contact. We had a family reunion. I was telling. We've got an investigator named Johnny who's from Alabama, from the Western Meridian, near Meridian, Mississippi.
Oh, okay.
And I told her that we had a family reunion last year down in it was in Montgomery, if I remember.
Yes, right.
But as I say, now that land is almost like suburban. But when we went down in 1967, it was still very rural.
Much.
Yeah. So, we've got a little connection to that part of Alabama. Well, to me, it's a big connection.
It is a big, because as long as we keep our land, we're tied to
our family. Okay, thank you, Mom.
Well, thank you, son. I hope I could help.
It's something, we're considered history now.
Well, I'm ancient history.
Well, I guess I'm probably one of the only people who has a relation who can remember. I was there, but who can remember the times of to me, it doesn't seem like history. It just seems like something that we did.
And when I think about walking from that, we were young, walking from that to Cobo Hall, and when we got in Cobo Hall, Kenneth Booker was sitting up on the
We have to be careful about names that we mention because then somebody might know Kenneth Booker
Well,
out there.
listen, you ought to call him.
Maybe I will.
You should.
All right.
And maybe he would come and talk to you because he was sitting up there on